I kind of base everything off Xander because it's stupid, like how repeatable he is. Dude, like that's not it. From what I know now, over the last 3 years of using Quintic, I think there is a better place to be.
Today you are going to see how the greatest of the greats, the greatest golfers in the world train, because not only are we training with the putting coach of Xander Schauffele and Phil Mickelson, we are training at his house. Let's go!
Okay. So your speed is getting better. I remember you were like, dude, I don't know how far it's going.
I'm still having problems 20 plus right now, but.
Okay. Cash. That's
money.
Nice.
Cash money.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Oh my God, dude.
It's bad.
No, it's really freaking good. There's some things that are unbelievable how good they are.
Oh, that's. Oh, wait a minute.
That's okay. The speed is just a little different than the last one, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Okay, so let's go to ball speed. Well, your ball speeds were all pretty good. Remember I was gonna say they're all around 4 miles an hour? Putter speeds, about the same, couple miles an hour, 2.5 miles an hour. Acceleration, 1 mile an hour to almost 3 miles an hour. So the putter's moving at different speeds through the golf ball on every single one of these putts.
That's not good.
No. I'll try and explain this the best I can. Because I'm gonna ask you to do this.
Yeah.
And we're gonna hit a freaking ton of putts. And you're just gonna be like, holy shit, like this is kind of hard. No matter what putt I'm hitting, if it's a 3-footer, 4-footer, 50-footer, I want the putter's acceleration to be similar, okay?
Yeah.
A 50-foot putt, this thing might be traveling, the putter might be traveling at 5 miles an hour, 6 miles an hour, and the ball speed's gonna be 8, 9, 10 miles an hour if I'm hitting a really long putt.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the putter needs to speed up or slow down. So if I'm driving my car at 50 miles an hour towards a brick wall, and I take my foot off the gas and the brake, and I just cruise into that wall at 50 miles an hour, I'm not accelerating, I'm not decelerating. So if I hit that same wall at 30 miles an hour without hitting the gas or hitting the brake, and I'm just letting the putter cruise into the ball's gonna go shorter than it would at 50 miles an hour. Or you fall, I don't know if that's the best analogy.
No, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we see you, let's just go down this list. So the first putt is 1 mile an hour acceleration.
Yeah.
The second one's almost 2. The third one is about the same, and it's 1.9, 1.8, and then all of a sudden it jumps to 2.5. Now we're hitting all these putts the same distance.
Yeah.
Okay? Then all of a sudden, boom, it goes down to 1.7 and boom, down to 0.8. So you've jumped within hitting the same distance putt from 0.8 miles an hour of acceleration to 2.5.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a problem controlling your speed. Let's say everything else is good. Like my path is good, my face angle square, my contact's really good, my angle of attack is really good. Angle of attack, I'll explain angle of attack in a second. My angle of attack is good, how the putter's going, watch this. So let's say this is a ground. Is the putter going up through the ball? Is the putter level through the ball? Or is the putter going down through the ball? Like that's AOA, angle of attack. And that you'll talk about that in your full swing. You'll talk about angle of attack, okay? Because that determines the launch and the spin of the golf ball. Just like it does in a full swing, same thing in putting.
Yeah, I think in this aspect, I'm, what's this called? When I see the ball go too far to, I guess, less, I'm not adjusting it based off of how far I'm adjusting it with speed. Which is horrible.
But that's freaking common, man.
Yeah.
I'll get a player that takes it back the same. I have a junior, and he's really good. He just qualified for the Toyota Tour Cup. Like, this kid can play.
Yeah.
And he'll get like a 10-footer, and he'll take the putter back, however far, X distance. And then all of a sudden, he'll get a 25-footer, and he'll take it about the same distance, and then rip it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, like, that's not it. Because it's just too hard to repeat. But if you took the putter back different distances and let the putter accelerate the same, look, the length of the backswing is going to determine how far the ball goes, right? Not how much you accelerate. So if I take it back this far, the putter swinging down is going to have more speed than if I took it back this far. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So again, if we go back to this screen here. So then you go from 0.8 miles an hour acceleration. See how that number's green?
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk about what's a good acceleration. To all of a sudden 2.1, 2.1, 2.8, and then bang back to 1.8. Like there's too much variance in how much the putter's accelerating. So that leads us to what's a good acceleration.
Yeah.
The range is 2 miles an hour. So from minus 0.5, decelerating, slowing down, to plus 1.5. But if you're going to be 1.5, I want you at the top of the range.
Yeah.
If you're going to be minus 0.5, I want you at the bottom of the range. I don't want it to be minus 0.5 and then all of a sudden plus 1.5. There's 2 miles an hour difference there.
Yeah.
Let's say you were at 2.8 miles an hour acceleration, which is fast. But if you did that every time, I'd be like, I'm out, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because you're repeating it. Is it on the high end? Yes. You're doing it every time. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? As long as all the other stuff is good, you'll figure it out, man. There are guys on the PGA Tour that accelerate the putter, and they're pretty good freaking players.
Yeah.
That's not an absolute, but I think from what I know now, over the last 3 years of using Quintic, I think there is a better place to be. And that's within that green. So if you're 1 mile an hour acceleration, from 0.8 to 1.2. Let's keep it around there. If you're at the high end, 1.5, okay, well, we're 1.3 to 1.6, 1.7. And it's good, right?
Got it.
Okay.
What would you say is standard? Like, would you say just to keep at the 1, below 1, or like deceleration? Or like, what would be the good standard in a sense, like on average? That's
a great question. I kind of base everything off Xander because it's stupid, like how repeatable he is, like how he does things. If I ask him to hit a ball 7.5 miles an hour, if it's not right on, it's really freaking close. And then when you look at the data, it's like, holy cow, he accelerated at 0.8 miles an hour. Yeah. So he's like from 0.8 to 1 mile an hour acceleration. And his smash factor or impact ratio, do you know what smash factor is?
No.
It's the efficiency of the strike.
Okay.
So smash factor is the ball speed divided by the club speed. Okay? The smash factor on a putt is really, really high.
Yep.
A good smash factor with a driver, a really efficient centered strike is like 1.50. So that means the ball, if I have 100 mile an hour club head speed, my ball goes 150 miles an hour. So in putting, because the putter is moving so slow, the ball still comes off pretty fast relative, so the smash factor is higher. Okay?
Yeah.
So the efficiency of the strike, so impact ratio or smash factor, so let's go to that since we're talking about it. Because they're related. How the impact ratio and the acceleration are related. So here you have 168 impact ratio at almost 2 miles an hour acceleration, 163 impact ratio with only 1 mile an hour acceleration. So if you speed up, the ball is going to jump off the face. If you're not really speeding up that much, the ball doesn't jump off the face very much. That's all that means.
Okay.
Now, I can move the same. If I took 3 different putters, and they're all different weights, super light one, super heavy one, right in the middle, and I move the same, the impact ratio on the heavier one is going to be higher because it's heavier.
Yeah.
If I took a freaking big hammer and hit a nail, it's going to do more damage at 1 mile an hour than a super light one at 1 mile an hour. It's physics, right? So, okay. And I know I'm talking a lot right now, and we're going to get back to you hitting putts.
No, this is great.
But we need to figure out what the most important thing is.
So I'm going to be slightly accelerating a little bit.
And that's okay.
No, I'm saying that's ideal. If with Xander 0.81 is acceleration at 1, is that
He's around 0.8 to 1 mile an hour.
Okay.
Acceleration.
Yeah.
one of my closest friends who's a golf pro in Sacramento, his name's Todd Smith, decelerates 3 miles an hour. I mean, it's, he hits the brake. He's the best putter on the planet. One of them.
Yeah, I think for me, a pattern I sense on the course all the time is when I decelerate, I hit my worst all the time.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm still trying to figure out which one's the best, and I've kind of realized the latter is really bad, and so I would prefer if I'm like accelerating a little bit. So maybe we could try that.
Okay, so you didn't decelerate on any one of these putts.
Oh, yeah.
Your lowest acceleration is 0.8.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like in my mind, I was like, I need to accelerate a little bit because I know it's bad, but I guess all this is bad.
So when we go on the golf course and I'm out there watching you putt, we'll measure some of this crap. We can't measure it with this machine, but we'll have other things that we can measure it with. So ball's gone, and this is how much the acceleration of the putter is after the ball is gone. If I were gonna eliminate basically all this data, it would be that. Because I don't give a shit what happens to the putter after the ball's gone. I mean, I kind of do, but that's not as important. So we already talked about impact ratio. So the problem is they're all very, very different. So if you look at Xander's data, it's 165, 166. 165, 166. Yours is 6'3", 6'8", 7'0", 6'9", 7'0", 6'4", 6'7", 6'6", 7'3", 7'0". Like they're all
over the
different.
place.
Yeah, your range is 0.10. Not 0.01.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Xander's range is 0.01.
Yeah.
So the elephant in the room.
Oh man, this is.
You thought the face or something. That was the elephant in the room.
No. I knew we were getting there because
it's all red.
Then I turned. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be a bad conversation.
So So let's circle back. There's always, you could be the best player. You could be John Rahm or Scotty Scheffler or whatever top player in the world. There's always going to be the elephant in the room that you need to work on. And their elephant might be like one of those little tiny plastic ones that just, not the big elephant that's at the zoo. Your elephant in the room is your launch angle. You're chipping. You chip the ball into the air. So this is how the ball is leaving the face. So a good launch angle on good greens should be around between 0.75 up and 2 degrees up. You are 3.7, 3, 4, close, 2.39, almost 3, almost 4, almost 3. And then all of a sudden one that's launched really, really low.
Got it. And so that means.
And then launched really, really high. And then launched a little on the low side. So if I accelerate differently, right, on every putt, which you kind of do, and my ball is in the air, go back to the screen again.
A disgusting amount.
So F/B.
Yeah.
Do you see that right here? That means forward or backspin in revolutions per minute, RPM, right?
Yeah.
Should never have backspin, ever, on a putt, ever.
Okay.
2 RPMs of backspin, 4, 45, 2. So if I go to putt number 6, so I have 45 RPM, let me get rid of it.
So I'm just hitting down on the ball.
No, you're not. You're actually hitting up 1.8. And I'm gonna explain this, but so if we just watch the dots on the ball, do you see how the ball's kind of chipped up into the air?
Yeah. No,
and it's spinning backwards, but it's also spinning with cut spin. You can see the dots turning sideways. So I'm gonna go to a different screen so you can see it in these like kind of animated balls. Watch the green one. Do you see how it tilts backwards?
Yeah.
That's the initial strike. So that green ball is tilting backwards, the initial strike. And then you see the blue one, right? The blue one, all of a sudden it goes, well, it's turning sideways.
It's pulling in, yeah.
Now the red one isn't super, super bad. Let me explain this. I know I'm getting into this, explaining this crap, but okay. So I got a ball with all these different lines on it. So ideally, the ball wants to roll end over end with no tilted spin axis, no side spin. So the ball is rolling end over end over end over end like this. Well, let's say I launch it up in the air at 3.8 degrees, launch it up in the air. So I hit it, it's in the air. And it's got 10 RPMs of, I'm just gonna call it side spin. So it's in the air with side spin, and it's flying with side spin. All of a sudden, 45 RPMs of backspin. So at some point it starts spinning like a bullet. So if I go like this, let's say I got overspin, turning over, launched in the air with side spin. It starts to rifle spin.
Yeah.
When it hits the ground, it bounces offline.
Got it.
So when we first started using this and we started learning about rifle spin, we would film these putts. I'd film Xander's putts and I'd have like worm cam going. And we would see it kind of jostle around on the ground and the greens are perfect.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the is going on, dude? Why is your ball bouncing around? Are you hitting it into the ground? Well, come to find out, if he put overspin and side spin, do you know what a lacrosse ball, those big heavy rubber balls?
Yep.
If you spin it like a basketball, you're gonna shoot a free throw, and you spun it backwards, when it hits the ground, it bounces away from you.
Yeah.
And then it hits the ground and comes back to you. And it just keeps doing that until it comes to rest. Well, that's what a golf ball does. We want zero rifle spin.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And so should I be hitting it like this?
Slightly on the up.
So then it's basically a rotation.
Slightly on the up, which you did. You went up, or 1.1 degrees, sorry. Your face angle was open 1.1 degrees. You launched it up at 3.85 degrees. So this thing you chipped it. It's in the air. With 45 back and cut spin, slice spin.
Yeah.
Do you slice the ball when you?
Always.
But that's easy to fix. And your ball didn't start its forward rotation for 2.5 inches. Every player wants to attain true roll as quickly as possible.
Yes.
You want the ball rolling as quick, but there's a skidding phase to it. I mean, once you hit it, it's not a true roll. It's not at 600 RPMs of roll.
Yeah.
So you hit it, skids for a little while, and then it starts to turn over and turn over and turn over. And now the drag of the ball on the ground is until it comes to a stop. It'll slow down. The forward roll starts to diminish because it's coming to a stop. But yours doesn't. I mean, that should say zero, because the ball should start skidding and then turning over. It should never say, well, it's not rolling until 2.5 inches. But that's because you chipped the ball into the air. Now, okay, if beginners knew this right away, and not to get like, you know that commercial, that Tubi commercial where the rabbits pick up the people and they throw them in the holes and they're like watching TV? It's like this commercial that came during the Super Bowl.
Oh, I didn't.
And you didn't watch the Super Bowl. I just watched the commercials in the Super Bowl anyway. But it's like going down a rabbit hole. They were like streaming all these things on these TV stations, and they were like, oh, I went down this rabbit hole. And anyway, so yeah, you could get all this information and go down a rabbit hole, but I just want you to be aware of it. And then figure out the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to the summary. So launch angle, all these numbers are red. All these numbers are green, and well, a couple of these are green and red. And then side spin, you mostly had single digit side spin. If you have single digit side spin, you're not gonna have much rifle spin. You shouldn't. The lie angle of your club, your lie angle starts to go like that, where the toe leaves the ground. So we want the putter to swing and stay the same level. We don't want it to swing and go like that, or like that. We want it to stay pretty toe and heel pretty close to the ground. Your lie angle changes 3.2 degrees. It's a lot. Yeah. If you see Xander's, it's freaking zero. Yeah. His lie angle never changes. I think that's back burner. But I don't know, we might make a change and that might change.
Yeah, that was like my next question. It's like how much of this is directly correlated? Because
yeah.
If the launch angle, if we fix that and then it just makes everything green.
Yes, okay.
That would be magic.
So we always want to fix the cause.
Yeah.
So my pro at the club, at the Grand, he's always like, what's the cause? What's the cause? What's the cause? Because you can stand there and trying to fix the effect. This effect one week. That effect the other week, that effect the next week, instead of fixing the freaking one thing that fixes everything. Yeah. And that's what we want. As I look at the launch angle and I look at your attack angle, remember I was saying, is the plane taking off or is the plane landing? Or is the plane just kind of cruising on the tarmac, right? So you swing up at the golf ball on average 0.74. On average. Most of these numbers, attack angle, are green. Did you hit down on one? Yes, you hit down on one. But most of them are really, really good. So if my attack angle is good, but my launch angle is high, if you look at this one over to the right of launch angle, it's the shaft angle. Well, when I strike the ball, am I leaning the shaft forward? Well, if I lean the shaft forward, what would the ball do?
Go up. Oh, if you're hitting it?
It'd go down.
Yeah.
If I hit it with the shaft leaning backwards,
Yeah.
the ball is going to go up into the air. Well, the first one is 0.47 adding loft backwards. The next one is 0.21 leaning forward. The next one is 0.82 backwards. The next one is 0. The next one is 1.2 backwards. 1.8 backwards. 0. 0.7 forwards. Backwards. Backwards. So you're forward, you're backward, you're forward, you're backward, you're forward, you're backward. So if I change the lean of the shaft, I'll change my launch angle. So this is a setup thing for me to see if that works, if that helps. Now, I could also bend the putter. I could take the putter from 4 degrees of loft to 2.75 and just let you go, and your launch angle would probably be pretty good.
I'm wondering, I want to like